Hello, this is our CS2316 final project, a college affordability and accessibility analysis.
Hi, my name is Shayna Coffsky. I'm a second-year ISYE major, and some of my interests are data and analytics.
Hi, my name is Avi Pearlman. I'm also a second-year ISYE major, and some of my interests are data and finance. We chose this topic because as young college students, we are well aware that there's a lot of stress placed on high schoolers to attend college. Not only that, but college can be extremely pricey and inaccessible based on income among other socioeconomic factors. Through this project, we sought to learn about the affordability and accessibility of university for the average American.
After finding, cleaning, and sorting our data, we took insights relating to college price and location, gender and institution sector, admission rate and freshman satisfaction rate and tuition, and the effect of parents' education and income on school costs.
Phases 1 and 2, data collection and cleaning.
We got our downloaded data set from a CS file from the National Center for Educational Statistics Integrated Post-Secondary Educational Data System. This data came from school years between 2016 and 2021 for colleges throughout the U.S. and its territories. The data set included information on grants and scholarship aid, tuition prices, demographics of students, the type or sector of institutions, their location, if they're urban or rural, and other statistics for each college.
In order to clean the downloaded CSV dataset, we utilized Panda's CSV module to read the data. Subsequently, we removed all columns that we deemed to be repetitive or irrelevant. This is a huge dataset, so this was a necessary step. Next, we added in new columns relating the percentage of male students in the average net prices of each university. We also added a new row to the data frame that took the average of each column. We cleaned up the data by replacing some value labels with those found in the additional data set. Finally, we exported the output to a CSV.
Our next web source is an API from the United States Census Bureau, which provides 2019 annual data on income, demographics, education, and earnings.
We utilized the Python request module and JSON modules to import 4 tables from the API into our code. Next, we combed through the data and removed all irrelevant information and created a data frame for each set of data. Finally, we exported each data frame to a different sheet in an Excel file utilizing Panda's Excel feature.
Our final web collection source is an HTML from collegedata.com. This page provides a comprehensive list of 2,234 schools, including the type of institution, their undergraduate populations, freshman satisfaction rates, admission deadlines, and tuitions. We chose this website because it's specifically designed for high school students looking at colleges.
This source was easily the hardest to scrape data from, because we had to utilize Selenium since it's a dynamic web page. Each page only shows 10 schools, so we programmed Selenium to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and then collect all of the data. We placed all of the data in lists and then a dictionary, finally placing it into a data frame with the school names as the indexes. We replaced all not reported and negative values in the data with none. Phase 3, Insights and Visuals.
We utilized the downloaded CSV dataset to make an insight regarding the average price of schools by state and territory. We focused on which states have the highest and lowest average annual college net price and what that price value was. As you can see in the heat map visualization we created, schools in the Northeast tend to be the most costly on average, with Vermont having the highest net price. Wyoming has the lowest net price out of the states. We can also see that colleges in the Rocky Mountain and Gulf Coast regions have on average a lower net price than the rest of the U.S.
We utilized the downloaded CSV dataset again to create an insight regarding the relationship between gender, ratio, and sector of institution for colleges in the United States. We focused on the average student gender ratio, and average percentage of male and female students for each sector of institution. For our second visualization, we wanted to create a pie chart for each sector of institution split between males and females. Here's the visualization. Overall, we found that all sectors of institutions have on average a higher percentage of female than male students. Private, not-for-profit institutions have the highest percentage of males. Private, for-profit institutions have the lowest percentage of males and highest percentage of females. And four-year or above institutions tend to have a higher percentage of men than two-year or lower institutions.
In Insight 3, we tried to find a relationship between the admission rates and freshman satisfaction rates of the schools. We created a scatter plot titled U.S. College Admission Rate versus Freshman Satisfaction Rate with a line of best fit. We found that schools with higher admission rates tend to have lower freshman satisfaction rates. It was also interesting to see that most schools in the U.S. admit more than half of their applicants.
Likewise, in Insight 4, we again utilized the HTML source, but this time to see if there was a relationship between tuition and freshman satisfaction rate. Unfortunately, we were unable to determine any particular correlation between tuition and freshman satisfaction rate, which may be because satisfaction rate is a particularly difficult metric to gauge, leading to potentially inaccurate data.
In Insight 5, we used both the downloaded dataset and API to compare college price by state and territory with how long in months it would take workers of different levels of education to earn that amount. It takes a worker who is less than a high school graduate 12 months to earn the cost of 1 year of college. It takes a worker who is a high school graduate 10 months. It takes a worker who has some college or associate's degree 8 months. It takes a worker who has a bachelor's degree 6 months. And finally, it takes a worker who has a graduate or professional degree 4 months.
Ultimately, we learned a lot working on this project about how affordable and accessible colleges are in the United States. We found that schools in the Northeast are most expensive, and schools in the Rocky Mountains and Gulf Coast tend to be the least expensive. Furthermore, most schools have a higher percentage of female students than male students, unlike Georgia Tech. And there is somewhat of a negative correlation between freshman satisfaction rates and admission rates. It was interesting to see that the average annual cost of university tuition in the U.S. is approximately $25,000, which is unfortunately more than some Americans earn in a full year. Although we weren't able to draw any particular correlations between freshman satisfaction and tuition costs, we certainly learned a lot about Selenium and dynamic web pages in the process.